I was almost becoming a bishop because I was really very active in the Scripture Union. So when when we have a problem like this one, I remember the words of the Bible. And before that, I want to start with the importance of the masks. You see, we are opening slowly because the reason we closed the lockdown was in order to prepare better. Because we were not really prepared at the beginning. We are now a bit more prepared to avoid. Because you remember in my speech, I said, you either vaccinate or avoid or treat. Okwewala, okugema, oba okujanjaba. The three. Now, of the three, what is possible now is to avoid and to treat. And you have seen us treating. We have treated these people, they have been cured and gone. Nobody has died. But we were able to treat because the numbers were few. This is the whole strategy. The mistake in Europe and other places was that they do not avoid early. They were playing around with something very dangerous, and it spread so much that the numbers were so many, they were not treatable. So that's why they would say, oh, you let that one die. You don't even try to, because we don't have where to put him. So this is what we don't want to happen here. We have now, up to now, avoided it. But we avoided it by maximum obukambwe, use of obukambwe, real serious restrictions. But we cannot go on with these very serious restrictions because then, like feeding and all that. So that's why we are saying we can open. But we must open by, for the now, doing the two things. Continuing to avoid even with the opening. And continuing to treat as long as the numbers are not too many. And as we work on the vaccine. So that is the strategy now. So in the avoiding, how do you avoid? We have done all the other things you already know, washing your hands, no shaking of hands, don't sit close to one another, social distancing. But one of the control measures of avoiding is the mask. The mask. I think the mask I am putting on, Okia, who is Okia? This is what, N95? Now, the one I'm putting on is N95. It is a mask that does two things. If I have the virus, Like when I'm speaking now, or singing, that singing is, you should, in the church, it should be, because when they sing, they push more, the breath. Or if I cough or sneeze, this mask will keep it to me. It will not spread to you if I have the virus. So this one is doing that. But this one, the N95, is also, in case I was in the theater, I was a doctor, even if the patient was sick, it wouldn't infect me, because it filters what comes from out 95%. There's some 5% still, but that's why they call it N95. Now, the ones you are putting on are ordinary masks. Okay? These are ordinary masks. They are not the same like this one. And they are good because they are, this one here is very wasteful. If I use it, I can't use it again. Is that so? Correct? Now when I go from here, this I throw away. But the one you are putting on is reusable, it is washable, and you can iron and use it. And it's very useful. If you are too near Rane, I can come and explain that. Come here so that I don't mix it up. This ordinary one, how does it protect himself? I know that it protects me from them in case they have virus. But how does it protect them from me if I have the virus? Explain that.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellency, first allow me to explain about the N95. The N95 that His Excellency is putting on ideally is for those in the isolation facilities, the health workers at the front line. And they can only use it once and throw it away. But for you who are not in the isolation, if you use it, Your Excellency, you can use it again.
Oh, okay.
You can put it out in the evening, spray it with Saraya, and you use it again. But the ones we are putting on, these ones, cannot be used again.
Oh, okay.
At the end of today, please dispose of it because it's very light, it has a filter, it absorbs a lot of moisture. If you want to use it again, you'll have to spray and iron it. Then you can use it again only one more time. Now the masks are protective in that...
No, but which is the one they can use many times?
The fabric, the fabric as it is, as a single piece of cloth, the one that Reverend is putting on.
Come here and they see you. Come here.
Oh, you have one.
Because you have got free teachers here. You should teach them and they go and teach.
Yes. This fabric is very good for the general population, but the cloth must be double. If it is single, it is not protective at all. It is only protecting you from dust particles. If it is double and they have left a bit of an opening, you put their tissue to act as a filter. It is extremely good. It will protect you from getting infection, but also protect others from you. So what the industries that His Excellency has talked to are doing are making those that are double, and they put in a filter. But the ones being made locally by other people are single cloth. They are not protective.
You should buy the factory ones. The ones made by Nightil?
Yes.
Ah.
They are
Okay,
protective.
thank you very much.
So what the masks do, as His Excellency has very correctly explained, it keeps my infection to me. I don't get it out to you. And it also keeps yours to yourself. So if I am with you and you are infected and you're sneezing, you will not infect me. Or if I am infected, I will not give it to you. It also prevents us from spreading it into the air, because when you sneeze in the air, the virus stays in the air for 45 minutes. So right now the air here is clean. If one person fails to put on a mask here, you are still protected. But if you don't cover your nose, and I spoke about this earlier, you're not protecting us. You have to make sure that the nose and the mouth are completely covered.
The question is, the ordinary mask, the one, will it protect me from this virus in the air?
Yes, Your Excellency, it will protect you if it is double with a filter inside.
Okay.
If it is single, it is not protective.
No,
at all.
we are not going to allow the single. We are going to promote the proper ones.
Thank you, Excellency.
Okay?
Apoya.
So, that's why I must start with the masks. If we use the masks on a mass scale, all of us, as long as you are not in your home, you go out, you put on the mask, and you cover the mouth and the nose. It will help to block the spreading of the virus. Even when we open transport, because you see, we shall have to open transport, say public transport resume. We may put some controls. The bus should not carry 70 people now, it should carry maybe 30, but still the buses will have to start operating. This will only be safe if we have this mask. Yeah. You are in the bus, but you have the mask. And we don't like air conditioning. Not air conditioning. What do you say about air conditioning? Jenna Chen. These are free teachers here. Why do you not want to exploit these teachers here?
Thank you, Excellency. Excellency, air conditioning is not good, because when we have air conditioning, you close all the doors and the windows, and the air stays within.
And it keeps blowing it around.
Yes, so whichever infection is in will continue circulating around and you pick it. So it's better to have as much ventilation as possible. As you can see, all the doors and the windows here are open.
I'm rich in air conditioning, but I never use it. I switched it off long ago.
Thank you, Excellency, for guiding us.
So the masks used all the time you're outside are a very important element of the avoiding if we open up. If we open up. If we open up without being strict on the masks, this is very dangerous. You can have mass infection in a very short time. But if we use the masks, and then we observe other measures, like, for instance, if you are coughing, don't go into public. If you are sneezing, don't go into public. Washing hands, keeping distance, we shall be able to defeat this virus. And so that's why I always like this book of Genesis, chapter 1, from the beginning, verse 28, chapter 1. Then that's when God had created other things. On Saturday, God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on earth. So this is a mandate we got from God, that we are different from other creatures. We are created in His image, and we must establish dominion over nature. So we are struggling with this virus, and we must do our mandate to, as much as possible, establish dominion over it by avoiding, by immunization, or by treatment. What is available now is avoiding and treatment. Let us use it. So I thought this should be my first, because I'm here again talking to the whole country, because I see some people, they think that a mask is a decoration. It hangs here on the chin. You should buy a necklace or something, but this is medicine. It must be put on to cover both the mouth and the nose all the time when you're in public. And don't fix so much with it, because the more you fix with it, you touch it, you remove it, then if you are infected, the infection goes on your hands, you touch the surfaces here, then you leave the surface, the virus on the surface. So this is point number one, establishing dominion over nature. This is part of it. This is part of it. Of course, there is another mandate which God gave us in the book of Genesis. That one I don't have to talk about because it's not very contentious. It is to multiply and fill the earth. That one you Africans are doing very well, so I don't have to talk about it. That one is understood. Now, the second point, but within that, within establishing dominion over nature, you have heard that Uganda has had 3 challenges at the same time. We had the locusts. They came, but we defeated them. The locusts have eaten nothing. Because they came, we killed them. They came, we killed them. They came, we killed them. They are no longer coming now. I don't even hear them coming. Why? Because we were ready with the army on the ground, and the locusts were controlled. This virus, you have seen what your people have been able to do with working with the leadership. Then we have the issue of the waters. The issue of the waters of Lake Victoria is again in the Bible here. The book of Genesis again, chapter 1. You can start verse 9. Then God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. This is verse 9. God is the one who said so. Let the water be in its place, and let the dry land be in its place. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called the seas. And God saw that it was good. Now, this is where the problem is. When Mama is praying, sometimes I say, please, pray slowly, don't talk underwater. Because sometimes she prays, says, oh, stop this water. But God is giving us rain. Be careful, don't go too far, don't confuse. Don't confuse. God, of course, cannot be confused. So, what is the problem? Has the water gone from where God said it should be? Or it is the people who went to where God said there should be water? What is the problem? Frankly speaking, because God yasala ensambu. Oba mu Luganda mwekiri ekyo? Is this there in Uganda? God put boundaries. He said this is place for water, this is for dry land. But some people say no. Abasoga bakoba nti Kibumba yaleta maite ki yali akola. That God did not know what he was doing. Where he put water, they want to put gardens. They want to put buildings. So, obujemu, okujemera Katonda. If you come to my farms, you will not find a single anybody encroaching on the river. The river is the river. God is the one who put it there. I'm not the one who put it there. But anyway, the water, God has given us a lot of rain. When I look outside there, like when we were coming, I see clouds which I have not seen for a long time. You know, these clouds are different types. They are what they call cumulus, what they call cirrus, the smaller ones. The thick rain clouds are called cumulonimbus, dark and black. I have not been seeing them for a long time, but when I was coming, the whole sky was full of cumulonimbus. Now, the lake now, at Jinja today, is 13.41 meters, the water. It has reached the record of 1964, the 12th of May. That was the first time to reach that level. Now, since yesterday, that water is where it was in 1964, on the 12th of May. But that time it caused a lot of damage. But this time, it will only damage, I think people had invaded its territory, the lake shore. People should not go to the shore of the lake. They should be away. However, for the things like the dams, the powerhouses, we are now much better equipped to handle it. In 1964, the gate at Jinja was only allowing 1,300 cubic meters of water per second to go through. That's why there was, if we did not have more capacity now, all these places would be flooded. But now, because we have got two gates, one on the Jinja side, one on the Njeru side, we are able to allow through maximum of 3,000 cubic meters of water per second. Today, they have reached, they have been letting out 2,200. They are now going to allow 2,400. So we think that the dams are safe. But the water, the people near the riverbanks and the shores, those are the ones who are in danger. Now the question is, when you go back, your parishioners, if you can be in touch with them, you ask them, did you go where God said we shouldn't go? Because God said it here. I'm not the one who said so. It is in the book of Genesis. He said this is a nyanja. This is omuga. This is a exaru or tobas. But people say, no, God was wrong. So that's where the problem is. Now, on the issue of the virus, we have the problem of, I think we are doing well. I spoke to the country on the 5th of May. Since that time, there is no single case of virus within the population. Like on the 5th of May, they tested 464 people within the community. They were all negative. They had no virus. On the 6th of May, they tested 438. They were all negative. 7th, they tested 718. They were all negative. Yesterday, 8th of May, they tested 740. They were all negative. So within the country, it seems the problem is not showing. But the drivers from around the East Africa, that's where the issue is. On 5th of May, drivers tested were 2,168. One was positive. Then on the 5th of May, they tested 3,071. 2 were positive. Then on the 7th of May, they tested 3,091. 1 was positive. Yesterday, 8th of May, they tested 2,421. 13 were positive. These are the drivers. Jen, come and tell us about the distribution. Do you remember the distribution? Where they are coming from? Or get one of your people who knows, so that you don't mix it up. Okay, if you know it better, you come and say so instead of...
Thank you, Excellency. Amongst the truck drivers, so far 54 have tested positive. Of those, 26 are Kenyans, 17 are from Tanzania, 8 are Ugandan truck drivers. Burundi had 1, Rwanda had 1, and 1 from Eritrea.
So, out of the total cases of who have proved positive, where the figure is now 114.
Yes, sir.
114 total since we started, including the ones that were healed. The truck drivers are how many?
54.
114. The truck drivers are?
54.
54. Yes. Almost a half. Yes. Thank you. Now, the Ugandans were saying, stop these truck drivers. But the Bible says, be as wise as a serpent. You must be wise. Because if you stop the trucks, how shall we survive? We stopped passengers, because passengers, there are many, and normally they are carrying nothing, they are carrying rumors. So we said, you passengers, stay there, don't come. Many of you have nothing to add. But somebody who is carrying salt, we didn't have salt until recently when salt came. Somebody who is carrying petroleum. Somebody who is carrying our coffee. That one we cannot stop. That's why. So therefore, we are in talks with His Excellency Kenyatta, His Excellency Salva Kiir, His Excellency Kagame, His Excellency Magufuli. We shall have a common position for these drivers to be tested where they are coming from before they come. Instead of coming to test them at the border, want them to be tested where they are coming from by joint teams. It will not only be the Kenyans, we shall have joint teams of the four countries, the health teams of South Sudan, Congo, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Kenya, together. His Excellency Kenyatta is suggesting that the testing should be done in Naivasha, and then they come when they are clean, they just pass through. We can make some variation, but that is the plan. No longer to test, no longer to have people who are not tested to come to be tested on the border. No, they should be tested where they are originating from. And as the preachers were saying, I think God has got a purpose for this disease. Because now, my health people, when they are treating these drivers for the virus, they find they have got diabetes, they have got blood pressure, they have got all sorts of diseases. But a driver is like a pilot. He should not drive in a 40-tonner vehicle. And you have blood pressure. So that means God is waking us up, that we have not been attending to the transport sector. That's why you get accidents. Somebody of blood pressure to be driving such a huge truck. Would you be surprised if he gets an accident? Because his head is not all right. Diabetes. So the spin-off from this waking up, this shaking up which the preachers were talking about, Uganda certainly would insist that anybody to be a truck driver must be healthy. Must be like a pilot of a plane. You cannot get somebody with diabetes or to be a pilot of a plane. So the whole thing is really waking us up. Now so the water is being controlled. The locusts have been controlled. and we are struggling with the virus with your support. But for me, Ruvare Mbera, Nembiro Kotade. That is my, God help those who help themselves. Bishop Ruere spoke very well on the issue of looking for godly people to manage these sectors. Ababi batutawanyiza. I'm really tired of thieves and the greedy people. So I will be coming to you and say, you people, you have been more on this work. You show me the godly people. Show me some of them. So that I can, and don't show me your parishioner, the one who attends you. No. I'm not looking for the ones who attend your service. I'm looking for godly people. The ones who really fear God, whom you can no, I can stand surety for him. Because if we can really move, if we have got clean people. I also thank the preachers. They preached very, very, very well. Archbishop Cyprian reminded us about the Ecclesiastes, Umburzi, they call it in Nyankore, where Solomon, after moving around for so, then he said, Biona Timuri Kantu. The things of the world have no value. That's very good for the people who don't know God, to know that Solomon went around until he realized there was nothing. It was wasting time. The Bishop Kazimba, Archbishop Kazimba also told us how God is shaking us up, shaking the mighty and the small ones to tell them that he's the one who is in charge. It's very good. The Bishop Serwanda also brought up this idea of the family. The family. But you, the Christians, you should have no problem with this idea of family. Because you remember Jesus, when he was 12 years old, he ran to the Yekaru, to the temple in Jerusalem. He ran away from home. He didn't tell his parents. He didn't tell Joseph and Mariam and Mary. Then they came looking for him, and they found him listening to the preachers there. They said, your parents are outside. He said, what are you telling me? My parents, my family are these ones who believe like me. Am I remembering that part well? That's what I remember. We people, when we went to the bush, our family were the bush people. Some of the people who stayed at home were with Amin, with what, the relative, by blood, but idea was not with us. So the family must be the family of solidarity in righteousness. In righteousness. Actually, my mother, who was in Morocco, would say, Aboluganda. Aboluganda was not the Vasita clan and all this. No, it was the ones who believe in what she believed in. So I'm glad that that idea is also coming up. So I thank you very much, the celebrants, the singers, thank you so much. But here, two mic. Wanyaraka? Are you organizing? Huh? Oh, rubbish. Talk up for Kwena. I will send you something through your. Thank you so much. God bless you.